Hey guys, how's it going? So today we're going to do a video, which I probably should have done a while ago, but I just haven't gotten around to it. We're going to be reviewing a drone. This drone is the Autel X Star Premium, made by Autel Robotics. Okay, so this drone costs $900, and it does come with the gimbal and the camera all attached, and it does come with this big box. So we're just going to jump right into it. So this is not a comparison video. I'm not going to be comparing it to another drone. I will do a video like that in the future, but this is kind of just like a review. And I'm not going to be talking too much about like little techie things. Those things you can just look it up on their website, but I'm going to be talking about like how it feels when you're flying it, how, from my experience, like certain things about it that I like, certain things about it that I don't like so much, and yeah, we'll just go from there. So you will stay right there. Maybe tilt you down a little bit. Okay. Here's the drone, $900, everything which is inside of here. Okay, so what comes inside of the box? Obviously you got your drone, gimbal, of course you got your controller, where you can attach a phone, an iPad. And real quick, Autel Robotics didn't pay me or sponsor me or give me a drone or anything like that. This is my honest opinion. Comes with a lanyard. It doesn't come with an extra battery, but I would recommend that you get one. It comes in handy. So it comes with 8 propellers, but you probably should end up getting a few more extra, because when you crash your drone, the thing which you'll most likely just bust are some propellers. So here are the 4 propellers which I usually fly the drone with. They're actually color coordinated, so you have to put the right color on the right one. There's reds and then there's silver. Not too difficult. When you get it, you'll have 8 of these propellers. So 4 red and 4 silver. You only need to use 4. I have busted a few of them. And then, of course, you have your charger. This is how you charge your drone's batteries, as well as remote controller. You can actually charge the controller as well as the drone at the same time, which is kind of cool. So here's the controller. Right at the bottom, there's a little knob that you have to open up, and the little plugs right into there. Very easy. And then to charge the batteries, you do have to take the batteries out of the drone. So do you see this right here? When I first got the drone, because I didn't read the manual, I was like, how on earth do I charge my batteries? I want to charge them. This is very confusing. What you have to do is pop open this rubber thing, which when you first get it feels like if you rip that off, you're gonna break it. But you pop that off like that, and then plug it into the side of your drone battery, and that's how you charge. And of course, you have your manual. You could just toss. You probably should read it. I didn't read it, and I didn't have any problems. Well, I did crash it a few times. So you have your manual. Here's some extra propellers. So these things come in a little box right here, but I threw the box away because I didn't need it. It comes with some extra little attachments for the gimbal, so if any of these little rubbery things break. And a cord. That's pretty much everything which comes inside of the box. And what's really cool about this box is there's plenty of space to put like an iPad or your phone, or you could fit 5 batteries in here. At the end of the video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how long it takes to take the drone from the box being shut to open it and get the drone flying. So if you stick around to the end of the video, you will see how long that takes. Okay, now let's take a closer look at the controller. Okay, so what's really cool about this controller, which some controllers don't have, is without having a device in the mount, you have a little LCD screen. So this just tells you certain things which are going on with the drone, like how far away it is, how high it is, how's the signal working, and a few simple things like that. Also, which is really cool, is this device mount is super sturdy. So check this out. You don't have to worry about your device falling out. Like, that is super cool, because I noticed, and I've heard from some other people saying that with some other drone controllers, the mount for your device is kind of flimsy, and sometimes their device falls out. Also, you have lots of buttons. So you have like start the propellers, launch, like take off, as well as land, turn the controller on, return to home, and pause flight. So if your drone's flying and it's going somewhere you don't really want it to, pause. And then of course your joysticks. And right on this side you just have the record button. This is how you choose the tilt of your gimbal. And then this is to scroll through settings, take a picture, and view your videos or pictures. Also, the controllers are really grippy. They have like these little spikes on them and they look like they'd be painful, but they're actually really nice because they like don't feel like they're gonna slip out of your fingers. Also, the controller actually just sits in your hands pretty nicely. Now, a few things which I wish hopefully they can improve in the future. Okay, first thing, they put the USB plug at the bottom. Okay, check this out. So you have your device, and you take your cord, you plug it in, plug the other end into your device. On the bottom, the USB plug sticks down towards whatever you place it on. So if you place this on a table, you end up bending your cord, your charger, which is a bad design because there's no way it takes rocket science to figure out how to put the USB plug at a different angle away from the ground. So I mean, if you place this down, you end up starting to break your controller. Not that you should be placing it down too much, but you know, it's just kind of annoying to think that when you put it down, you're kind of breaking your charger. One other thing is the location of the IOC, GPS, and ATTI. It's way too close to where your hand is because I've actually accidentally changed that setting and then ended up like not being able to control the drone. So I wish they would put it maybe somewhere else where you couldn't accidentally press it as easily. I get that they're putting it there so that if you ever need to change to ATTI, maybe because your drone is acting all funky or weird, then you can change, but it shouldn't be that close. I feel like it should be just maybe a little bit away, so it's a little difficult, little less chance of you accidentally pressing that. As you can see, the bottom where the charger is, you have to be able to plug the cord in, but they made this little spot so narrow you can't plug some of the Samsung cords into some of the Samsung tablets, which is a bad design because it shouldn't be that difficult to just make this little gap a smidge wider. So Autel, please fix this. Very annoying. Now let's talk about the drone. Okay, so one of my most favorite features about this drone, which some drones have, some drones don't, is you can actually just completely remove the gimbal. So you just press this little button right next to it and then pull it forward and the whole gimbal actually just completely comes off. And this is what the drone looks like without it. I think that's pretty cool because if they ever come out with a newer, better camera, then you can always switch it out. Also, for traveling, you can just take the gimbal off and put this maybe somewhere safer in your backpack or your luggage or wherever, and then pack the drone and not have to worry about the gimbal getting destroyed or wrecked as easily. And also, if you ever crash your drone, it's a lot easier to clean if you just take the gimbal off and clean it and wipe it down. So that's actually a pretty cool feature. And this drone definitely feels a lot more strong and a lot more durable. Like the plastic seems stronger as well as just like the overall build. And a lot of people on YouTube and in reviews have also said that they feel that the Autel seems to be a lot stronger. So I've crashed this drone 4 times. Well, I crashed it 3 times and 2 nights ago my dad crashed it. So the first 3 times it wasn't too high in the air and it just like hit some branches and maybe broke a propeller. And the 4th time my dad was flying it trying to get this cool shot of me, and then he accidentally hit a palm tree like 25 feet in the air. The drone fell out of the sky from 25 feet and I was like, no. I was like, my drone is done. I was like, there's no way it survived that. So I ran over and I grabbed my drone. It has like sand on it, some leaves and branches, and then I just took it home, cleaned it all off, and I mean, it still works. For short, I call her Nyla. The reason I call her Nyla, 9 lives. Just keeps going. So, Autel, you definitely did a good job on making your drone durable. Battery life is pretty good. They claim that it lasts about 25 minutes, but usually you'll get around 15, maybe a little bit more of flight time, because you usually land it not when it has 0% of battery left. While I'm talking about the batteries, is how long does the battery take to charge? Well, probably around 45 minutes to an hour, but that is usually when it only has about 40% battery. So, I mean, it's a pretty fast charge considering it has to fly this thing. You can actually buy this drone in orange or in this color of white. I actually like the white, the way it looks better, but the orange may have been a smarter decision because a few times I've lost the drone. It's up flying in the sky and there's clouds everywhere, and it just like, I can't find it, it just disappears. And one time I thought I lost it, but then I was able to find it. And the orange one may have been a smart decision because most likely you're not going to lose the orange flying helicopter, quadcopter flying around the sky. One other cool feature is the one-handed release, catch and release. So with this drone, since it has these legs, you can either catch and release it like this or like this, which is how most people do it. So you can just grab onto one leg. Probably shouldn't do one hand catch and release. I never wanted to when I first got my drone, but after like flying it, going places where there was like really loose sand or really tall grass, I kind of learned that I kind of had to take it off from my hand to get certain shots that I just wouldn't be able to get without doing hand catch and release. But I do not recommend that you do that. And this is a 4K camera. 4K. Most of the time I don't use it in 4K because I don't have a fast enough setup to edit footage like 4K. Like it'll be impossible to edit. It'll be like looking at a picture that was taken every like 20 seconds or something. But you can do like 1080 at 120 frames a second. So you can do some pretty cool slow-mos. I think you can do like 240 frames per second at like 720 on this drone. So if your desire is to get slow-mos, slow-mo it is. And I don't have much to say about this drone that I don't like very much. One thing is I wish they would have designed the box to be able to fit the drone with the propellers on it in the box. That would have been a nice feature, because then if you're showing up to a location where you got to get it in the air and get out really quickly, it'd be so much easier if you didn't have to take the propellers on and off every time you wanted to put it in or take it out of the box. So hopefully, Autel, if you're watching this, you can possibly improve that. And what do I think about when it's in flight? Overall, it's pretty good. Definitely the hover isn't perfect as possibly the Phantom 4. The Phantom 4 seems to have a little bit of a better hover, like when it's in the air, it seems to be able to stay in place a little bit better. But that could be something which Autel will improve with possibly like a software update or firmware update in the future. And also, one thing you have to be careful of is it does drift. So not like if it's hovering, it's usually going to stay in a pretty similar area. Like it's a pretty good hover. Like if you want to do a time lapse of something from in the air, you won't really be able to notice the movement thanks to the gimbal, 3-axis gimbal. But like let's say you're going top speed this way and you take your hands off of the controllers, it's going to drift a little bit while it's stopping, whereas some drones, they seem to be able to stop a bit quicker. But that could also be something they improve in a firmware update in the future. So for the price of $900, it's a pretty good deal. I mean, you get a 4K camera, a really awesome drone, you get a pretty cool box, and a few other little attachments, which is a pretty good deal compared to some other drones which seem to be a bit more pricey. As I promised, I'm gonna close this box up and I'm gonna put this wire in there, and I'm gonna see how long it takes me to get it from in the box into flying. Obviously, you could probably do this in a little quicker or a little bit shorter, but I'm going to be talking about what I'm doing exactly so you know what's going on. Okay, so let's do the setup. Okay, so a timer should start right up there, right now. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is open up the box. I usually like to pull the drone out first. Make sure you take off this little gimbal protector, or else your gimbal will not work. Place the drone aside. Then I usually get the propellers out from this little baggie and then spin them on. Make sure you put them on the wrong color. So the red ones go on counterclockwise, and then the silver ones go on clockwise. All good. Now I'll get my controller out, and make sure you flip these antennas out. Set up your device, so clamp it into place, and then hook it up by plugging it into the bottom of the drone, the USB, and then the other end right into your device. They say to turn on the controller before you turn on the drone, so that's what we're going to do. Turning on the controller. You have to hold the button down for about a couple of seconds. One thing which I always use is this lanyard which it came with. I used to think they looked kind of goofy, but you can just strap it to the front of your controller, and you can just put it right over your neck. And actually, it's pretty cool, because now if I want to do a one-hand catch and release, I don't have to worry about dropping my drone. Okay, so both things are on. Now you just have to go into the app on your device. Depending on what kind of drone you have, it's obviously going to be a different app. For mine, it's just Starlink, Autel Robotics app. Here we go. Not now. Next part we'll do this way. Okay. Oops. So you usually want to make sure it has at least 12 GPS signals or satellites. Sometimes if you just move around a little bit, connect a few. One other thing now that I think about it is the camera quality seems to be pretty good, like really good quality. Well, you'll be watching the footage as soon as it's about to take off. Okay, it's connecting to some satellites. Now I'm going to calibrate the compass. Some people say you don't need to, but I like to because it only takes like 7 seconds, and then it just helps make sure that your drone won't crash or lose control. Calibration succeeded. Next step. So right now I have 7 satellites, 10 satellites, okie dokie, 12 satellites. So I'm just going to start recording and then I'm going to take it off. So what you have to do is hold down this button on the far left corner at the bottom. As you can see, the motor's just started. Always keep it above your head if you are doing a hand catch and release. And then I slowly just give it some gas. And that is how long this took. And there you go. That's how you get the drone from the box into the air. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Let me know that you like the video. If you want to see more videos like this one, or I do daily vlogs, make sure to subscribe. Remember to do more awesome stuff. See you guys in the next video.